Jenifer. So Jenifer, we've been working together we are thinking somewhere around 9 months, 19 months, something like that. And it's been really, really a pleasure. It's been really big journey together, right?
Yep.
From when things started. So would you like to share, I guess, what were your challenges before we started working together?
So I was struggling with binge eating and purging. I was very stressed out and was eating a lot when I was under pressure. I've had bariatric surgery, so the purging side of things became quite easy for me. I think I have always been a binge eater, but after the surgery, the ability to throw up became quite simple, and so therefore my binge eating turned to purging as well, and I was starting to purge 5 or 6 times a day, usually after lunch and dinner. I didn't used to eat breakfast, so that was, yeah. So that's basically where I was at when we first started, and I was progressively getting worse. Whereas previously I had sort of only been binging at night. It was starting to become a at work problem as well. So it was getting to a real bad place.
Started kind of taking over a little bit.
Yeah, very much.
And so you had the bariatric surgery, and we've been working with quite a few people, with quite a few clients who had the surgery. So you lost weight, right, from the bariatric surgery, and then you said kind of like all these challenges started coming up when it comes to food, and the weight started slowly coming back up. Is that right?
Yes, a very big fear of mine is weight regain, because previous to surgery, every time I had dieted, I would just gain weight straight back. And so I was very petrified of weight gain, because it signaled going back into the old routine, and I was afraid that I would have wasted all the money and effort having the surgery. So it was stressing me out. And of course, COVID lockdown threw out my routine that I had developed, and I, like everybody, gained a bit of weight, and it just set me spiraling, and I couldn't seem to get back into control. Normal eating habits.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes, that first COVID lockdown that really impacted so many people. Actually, still have people who come in and say, "This is when it started. This is when so many challenges started." It was very stressful, obviously, for so many of us, because we didn't really know anything like that.
Mine was the fact that I was stuck at home around a cupboard, and I like to bake.
Yeah.
I had tons of free time to do the baking that I enjoy, but I live alone, so then I eat the baking.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
That's where my problem came in.
Rediscovered the joy of baking.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you decided that you would like to get some help and support, and you reached out. So what is it, I guess, that made you decide to work with me, to join this program?
I tried to solve it on my own. I read self-help books and how to get over things, and in the back of my mind, I felt like the overeating and the purging was a habit I developed. But I went to see a psychologist, and she made me look into my background, blah blah blah, trying to figure out what happened in my childhood to make me eat, and it never quite felt right. I couldn't come up with any answers to her questions because I didn't have the answers, and it never felt like that was the reason I was eating. And I was browsing on the internet, I'm not sure, I just stumbled across your page, and just something about the instructions, the way you talked about food, and the way it just sort of struck me as, I feel like this is more realistic for what my food issue is. It's not necessarily a childhood trauma, but more a bad habit or using food as a coping mechanism for triggers in my life. And so I thought I would give it a go.
Yeah. Okay. And obviously then we started. And what is it like? When did you notice the changes for you or improvements?
For me, it was when we started the one-on-one was when I really noticed the big improvements. I obviously tried the first part of the program and I went through it all, but I'm not very good at self-management. I tend to procrastinate. So having the one-on-one where you were really involved, I then put more effort into making the changes that I needed to do, because you were checking up on me more regularly than if I was just trying the program on my own. I felt that I need to feel like someone is expecting something of me to help push me through the procrastination. So that worked really well for me. And so once we started the one-on-one, my improvement went very, very quickly.
Yes, it did. Yeah. What was the improvement for you? What did you notice was different then?
I was struggling with the trying to eat normally again, because I started gaining weight, and so that was very, very tricky. So once we started the one-on-one, you were able to help me with controlling my food, making sure I wasn't overeating but was still eating healthy. You made me show you what I was eating so that it ensured I was actually getting a balanced diet. And then once I sort of felt a little bit more in control, it was just, it started getting easier to go longer and longer without purging. And that was my main goal, was to stop the purging initially. Accepting the fact that if I overate, I just had to live with it, as opposed to throwing it up, because that was going to do a lot more damage to me than a bit of weight gain. And you helped me come up with strategies to cope with that. So one of them was I went and lived with my parents for a month, because having someone there backing me up, I needed that, because I lived alone. It was a lot easier to hide the issues or brush them aside if there was nobody watching. So we came up with multiple strategies in order to make me follow through with the things that I've said I wanted to do, but I just needed a bit of a encouragement or a push to get there.
Yeah, I think what we were doing there, or my focus, was to really break that pattern, break that habit, to purge, but also obviously first to stop the overeating or the binges, so there is no need to purge then as well. And then slowly, like that time between the binges, that started increasing. So the binges started reducing as well. The severity started reducing as well. And in terms of, like, let's say your parents, I think it's really important to have that support network, and that your parents were your support network, and staying with them and having that communication with your mom. Then between us, I think we all need support network anyway. And that was yours, and that worked really well for you there, to have that as well. So where would you say, where are you now?
I would say I'm doing quite well. I obviously occasionally still have bad days, but my time between binges is increased dramatically. I think it was when Auckland went into lockdown.
August, September?
Something like that. Yeah, it's been, I've maybe had 1 or 2 in that entire period between now and March.
So about half a year.
So, and I get over them a lot quicker, whereas previously I would binge and purge, and then I would feel bad about binging and purging, and so then the next day it would cycle. Whereas now it might happen the once, and I feel like, oh, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done it, because I know what I should be doing. And I realize it's because I got slack, or I was tired, or I didn't bother to put into practice the steps that I know I need to do. But then I can recognize that and move forward, and then build on the fact that I know what I need to do. And so I'm going to stop it and not let the behavior continue and spiral out. So I'm definitely a lot better. Yeah,
absolutely. From 5 to 6 times a day to like twice in half a year.
Yep.
And you're right, if we summarize it, it is pretty good.
I definitely noticed the thoughts around food have greatly diminished. I used to be obsessed with, what am I going to eat? Where am I going to eat? Am I going to be regretting picking this? I couldn't even choose from a menu what I was going to eat, because I would be worried that I would be regretting what my choice was. So therefore I would spend half an hour looking at a menu and wishing I picked this and not that. And, you know, and now it's like, I pick something, I eat it, I move on, because I know I can go back and have the other food if I need to, you know. So it's a huge improvement. Yeah,
absolutely. So having more mental capacity, not to constantly think and worry about food.
Yeah. And I've gotten over that fear of missing out that I used to have. It was such a big fear. I don't know why. I was so afraid of not having the food I liked, and yet it's like, but I can have it.
Yes.
Yeah, so really good.
That's true.
Anyway, that's gone.
That's amazing. And any other sort of tangible results that you notice as well?
Well, my blood works better. That helps. I just, in general, I feel like I'm making progress. I'm not there, but I'm making progress to the fact that I haven't weighed myself in 6 months. And I'm still struggling with that. That's a big thing for me. But I know that I'm learning to feel my body with just like my clothing and stuff. And I'm working on that side of things, just accepting how my body is, as opposed to what the weight on the scales says. And so if my clothing is still fitting,
yes, it's a big one, letting go of that scale, the number on the scale, right? And that sense of control, because that's what it is. It's that want and need to control. Even though I would think it's more the illusion of control, right? Because just because there is a number, we don't really have control. It's just a feedback. So the question is, okay, what kind of feedback can I use in a way that is more helpful to me, rather than, I think what happens to a lot of people, while it feels like I have control as long as I know my number, but then they see a number that they don't want to see, and it just spirals them completely out. So the question is really, do you really have control, or is it actually just a trigger for being out of control?
Scales are gathering dust at my place.
Yes. So my encouragement is always just, just get rid of it. Let's work with your body. Because it actually is telling you more.
Yeah, exactly. I obviously I've had some food issues digestively, which I've been working on. So I'm feeling better with that as well. So there's been some improvement there. Just slowly moving forward, working out what my body can handle, and making small steps. And that's it. I think a big thing for me is accepting that it takes a lot of small steps to get where I need to go, and it's not a quick fix. I'm so used to wanting everything to go quickly and just get there in the end and get it done, and I hate the time in between, but recognizing that it takes that time is a big thing for me.
It's a journey. It's a journey, and so much learning in the journey as well.
I mean, it's been 2 years, so it's a long time when you look back at it. It doesn't feel like a long time when it's happening, but it's been 2 years of me when I first went downhill to where I am now. So
yeah, 2 years, and then the 10, like I said, we said 9 months, 10 months, something like that, of this work. And it was intense work. We've been working really intensely together. Particularly I think like the 6 months, and then slowly getting a bit longer and longer between our sessions, because you actually felt very strong. And we felt like it was good to just extend that time speaking together. And hey, now, while yes, you are on the journey, and I really think there will always be a part of it, we will always be on this journey to understand, to learn. Our body will be signaling certain things, but it's about knowing how to listen to our body and to work with our body rather than against it, right? And yeah, but we both decided it feels good that we are kind of done together here, right?
Feel strong enough to go it alone.
yes, absolutely. And it really felt for both of us like, yes, it feels good, it feels organically right. And I really feel genuinely you got the tools, you know what to do, you are strong. There are some odd moments, but there will always be, most likely, right? But you've got the tools, you know exactly what to do, and that's what's important.
It's been very good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's been really, really a pleasure working with you. Who would you recommend this program to?
I would say anybody with food issues that wants to work on them. I don't think it necessarily has to be a weight issue, just in general, struggling with food or thoughts around food. The obsessive side of the thoughts is a really big thing. Honestly, I was scared going into the program that it wouldn't work. I wouldn't actually be able to get control again because I felt so out of control. So yeah, anybody who's having these thoughts, it's really amazing that you actually can get back into a normal routine, a better healthy living, a better way of eating. The thoughts do quiet. And yeah, so I feel like that anybody who's struggling with food thoughts should talk to you. Doesn't have to be about weight, just food.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.